Greetings, family, and welcome to Live with Chatufa. We are still looking at issues that are happening in the nation as we continue to give you updates. We know that most of you will be busy working, busy doing whatever that you are doing in business or whatever, and you may not have time to be looking at what is happening. That is why this platform is there to give you updates, even as you are working and doing whatever that you are doing. Work as we give you updates every day, and please continue to support the platform by liking, by sharing, and also inviting somebody to this very platform. This is the platform of change, Live with Chatufa. Chatunga Mugabe faces arrest for contempt of court. You still remember the issues that are surrounding the young Mugabe after he had an incident in Bubi last time. It is said that the young man is absconded court, which is something that is very, very dangerous. I don't know what really is happening to this young man or what it is that he is trusting. The Newswalk reports that a hashtag warrant of arrest for Mugabe's son, the late former President Robert Mugabe's son, Bellarmine Chatunga, has been issued with a warrant of arrest after he defaulted on a court appearance in Beitbridge. The National Prosecuting Authority of Zimbabwe says Chatunga was arrested and later released on 31 August at Bubi security roadblock after a scuffle with a policeman over his vehicle registration papers and passport. Mugabe's son, with his widow Grace, former First Lady, was in the company of a South African driver who was at the time behind the wheel. So this is what is happening, and it seems now the issue was now going to court after he paid bail and he left. And unfortunately, the young man does not want to attend the court, to the point that absconding the court has resulted in a warrant of arrest. But this already, I think it's some kind of, misdemeanor that is done by these young people. I wish this young man should know also that things are now different, and he must begin to do things differently. He mustn't trust Mnangagwa that much. Mnangagwa can allow him to rot in prison. Mnangagwa is nobody's friend totally, that he can think that he can enjoy the protection of Emmerson Mnangagwa. So I don't know what it is that he trusts, that he can abscond court and think that everything will just go on well for him. So he really has to be advised correctly. Somebody must talk to the young man and tell him to be responsible. Otherwise, he might find himself getting into serious problems that he may not come out of. You might have money, and you might also be called Mugabe, the son of the former late president. But as long as the people that are up there, like the Mnangagwas, if they don't, or they just decide to want to punish you a bit so that you can, cool down a bit, they may decide to do that. So Chatunga should really not be trusting the people that are in power right now. These are never their friends, and they were not even his father's friends. So he must always remember how his father was removed, and how these people blamed Mugabe for everything. And they continue to blame Mugabe even to this day, of the many very unfortunate things that we have seen happening to the nation. But while they were still with Mugabe, they never wanted to say things the way that they've started to say things after the coup. And you can just tell that these are people that are dishonest, who now want to capitalize on the situation. Mugabe was with them in everything that they did, all decisions that they made, they were together with Mugabe. In fact, Mugabe used to disagree. That much I know about Robert Mugabe. There are many things that he used to disagree, and he would stop them from happening. While these ZANU-PF people wanted to go wild and start to implement some things that were just out of this world. But you would find that Mugabe was always on the side of defending things. I still remember when ZANU-PF wanted to amend the constitution and they moved the presidential age limit from 40, and they wanted to put it to somewhere like 55. And the agreement was already done, made, and it was sealed. And everyone was already, hyperactive and waiting to have that amendment done. And ZANU-PF could have done it, because they had the majority in parliament. And it was Mugabe who refused that. And he said, no, that cannot happen. And that was only a plan to make sure that they frustrated Nelson Chamisa, that he may not contest in presidential elections for the coming 15 years at that time. And Mugabe refused that. And quite many other things that we used to know that Mugabe would stand his ground and show that he was a bit moral than the rest of these guys. So for him now today to be thinking that these same guys could protect him if he breaks the law the way he does, they may throw him to the crocodiles and he might find himself in a very serious problem that will be very difficult for him to come out. So this is what it is. We will continue to be watching what will be happening. But now that there is a warrant of arrest already for him, it might be very dangerous for him, because any overzealous policeman can decide to just arrest him once he meets him, and that can become a problem for him. And nobody knows whether there will be ZANU-PF people who will be ready to run and rescue him. Remember, ZANU-PF is a lot in its hands. Mnangagwa is a lot in his hands right now. The fights with the general and things like that. And he might not need some other unnecessary problems that are just being committed by young boys that are just being ridiculous, you see. So he might say, no, teach him a lesson, let him stay there for the coming 6 months, then we'll take him out, he will have changed his attitude and behavior. You see, that can happen. So the young man must be warned that he should not think that what he used to enjoy when his father was alive, he might continue to be enjoying it now, especially after he's out of power. And his mom also, there is no sign of very good relations with Mnangagwa, especially after some properties were grabbed by Mnangagwa in some past few months. So I think this really must be a wake-up bell that rings for this young man. This idea of him supporting Mnangagwa on Twitter only, and he thinks that it's enough. There are many people who had done quite a lot for Emmerson Mnangagwa, quite great works for Mnangagwa. But when time came that Mnangagwa wanted to dump them, he just simply dumped them, and nothing came and nothing happened. And they just found themselves in serious troubles that they could not even get out of. So very, very interesting what we are seeing with these boys. And we don't know where Robert is. Robert is too quiet, especially after his arrest last time again in Harare, where he had a problem with a prostitute. And then the police had to intervene, and he was violent and things like that. And we heard that he had been arrested. We don't know now. He's just somewhere under some rock somewhere. And I think it is good for him to stay quiet and just mind his own business and do what he has to do. Otherwise, it's a danger really to trust the current ZANU-PF people. So this is what it is, family. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. Let's meet in more of the upcoming shows. Remain blessed.